Good day, good day. So please forgive me. This is only my third live, and I do have my notes like I always do. So this video right here is to talk about the importance of getting my house in order and particularly getting my financial house in order because I am having a baby. This is a major life event, and many people take it for granted that this is a major health event. So it's important to have your financial house in order, your documents in order, a will in place if you don't have one. So those are some of the things that I'm going to go over a little bit in this. So it's important to me to have these conversations with my husband. These conversations we also had when we had our last child in 2022. And I'm glad that we did because it made that process a whole lot easier. So it's important to have a will in place, which we kind of already do. They just outdated because they're outdated because we have children. We have children that have gotten older. Things have changed in who we want to leave things to. Things have changed in ownership. We own a little bit more than we did at that time. Um, and so, there's just some things that need to be tweaked in our wills. So that's something that we need to do in the very, very near future. We need to update our wills. Secondly, is life insurance. We do have life insurance. We have adequate life insurance, but the important thing to me is just making sure that both of us knows what's going on with the policies. We both know what the capabilities are of the policies and what they can do, what the benefits are, and just knowing where they are. All right. And just knowing where all the documents are and knowing about the bank accounts and passwords, things of that nature if anything were to happen. Because I'm always leaning on the side of being prepared than not prepared, because the thing that would hurt me the most is if anything were to happen to either myself or my husband, and we have benefits and we have assets or we have money stashed away somewhere and the other person knows nothing about it, or a family member knows nothing about it. Because what would be the benefit? It's like having wealth and nobody knows about it, so it can't be used. So I am very firm and adamant on having good, deep family conversations, having them multiple times a year, if not once a month. So everybody's on page and everybody knows what's going on. Everybody knows where everything is. All right. So, like I said, my husband is aware, but he's not dealing with, the finances or the ins and outs of a lot of things on a day-to-day basis like I am. So I can do it quick. I know where it is, but for him, he may have to go and search a little bit or look or have to remember what I said or where I said something was. And I don't want him to ever have to do that if anything were to happen for me or for him. So those are just some of the basics. And it's also important to, if you don't already, but we do, we have all of our important or most of our important documents inside of a waterproof, fireproof safe. That is very, very important. Some people have their important documents under a mattress or buried in a container under something, but you want to make sure it's waterproof and fireproof. And you want to make sure that your loved ones know where the keys are to get into the safe. All right. So some of the things you want to put in your waterproof, fireproof safe is your passports, titles, life insurance policies, extra cash. Always keep extra cash on you in your home, passwords, social security cards, birth certificates, and things of that nature. So it's very important to have all of those important documents in one place just in case anything happens. And also, I don't have it necessarily in the safe, but if you have it in your wallet or in your purse, any health insurance information and health insurance cards, in case you have to go to the hospital on an emergency, you have that covered and you know what those documents are as well. So it's important also for me to talk about this, and insurance is important to me, not only because I am a licensed um, life insurance agent, but because I have seen so many instances where people didn't have life insurance or didn't have enough life insurance. And I can see what it does to families. All right. It becomes a very disorganized, chaotic situation when people do not have their ducks in order. And I have always said, I do not want to be like that. I do not. I would rather have more than enough than not enough, or I would rather share way more information than I need to share than for my loved ones not to know what's going on or not to know what I actually have. Because unfortunately, some of us like to keep these secrets like it's a big old secret or some type of damnation if we let people know what we have. But what is it going to benefit them if nobody knows what you have and it doesn't benefit anybody? That's pointless. So for me, I'd rather overshare than undershare, and they not benefit from all of the hard work that I put in for them to benefit from. So in my grandmother's case, I'm just going to give you all a few examples of why I operate the way that I have. And these are personal examples. This is not even counting the other stories from people that I've heard just, doing life insurance policies and just talking to people and how, going through how they thought and their patterns. But the first experience I had was with my grandmother. My grandmother passed away. She did not have a will. So my grandmother and my father shared a home. So they had a home and both of their names were on it. So because my grandmother did not have a will when she passed away, my father had to go through all of my grandmother's heirs. So he had to go through all of his brothers and sisters to get them to sign off on the home that they owned together. All right. So that was my first introduction to the importance of having a will. All right. And see, that's also how a lot of heirs property gets taken away because there's no will, there's no documentation of who it's to go to, and no definitive lines. It's just wide open. And then you have all of these different people that have to make a decision before anything can be done. All right. So the second example is when my oldest son's father died. He did have insurance. So that was a great example of a positive outcome. So his father did have insurance, and the children benefited from that, So he was responsible, and I absolutely commended him for that because, had he not, the children probably wouldn't have gotten anything. Now, the children did get Social Security, but they just had that added benefit of a life insurance policy because, the father or the grandfather was responsible. So, my third example is my son. When my son passed away in 2022, of course, he was an infant, but I made sure to make sure that he had coverage in case anything happened. He had health insurance and he had life insurance policy. And those things did come in handy, and it made the process easier because financially it wasn't something we had to deal with or even think twice about. We didn't have to worry about how to bury him or how to take care of his final expenses or how to take care of his hospital bills. All of those things were covered. So that's the whole purpose of this video, is just to make sure that, especially if you're going through a major life event, people take things for granted. Having a baby, having surgery, going out of the country, or traveling, or anything that could bring about any type of life change. It's important to make sure you have all of your ducks in a row to get your house in order, get your financial house in order, get your documents together, make sure your family members and your loved ones know where things are and know what to do in case anything happens. So I want to thank you all for watching, and I want to say be blessed. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them. I would love to hear them, and you all be blessed.